into our Bible study and turn it over to our pastor. Is it warm in here or is it just me?
Guess we dressed for the weather.
I guess so.
And he was ready for the bust.
Praise the Lord, everyone.
Hallelujah.
Sister Percy, we're waiting for you to come up with one of your good questions, too. Yeah, you always come up with some doozies. Yeah. Yeah. Nah. I can't tell you about scandal. Yeah, a couple of years ago I could have told you. Yeah. No, that's all right. But just to open up, we are the church of the living God. We are his church. We are the body of the Christ. He created us because he wanted to have a relationship with us. How do we have a relationship? How do we have a personal relationship with him? What do we do to have a personal relationship with him? He wants to have a relationship with us. What do we need to do to have a personal relationship with him? Okay, so we study his word, and we praise him and worship him, which is a function of the love that we have for him. What else do we do?
Accept the gift of salvation.
Okay, and because that allows us to, that qualifies us to have a relationship with him. Yes, ma'am. Pray. We pray. So my question to you then, what really is prayer? Say it again. Okay, a few simple words. We the people are a few simple words. Okay, take it a little deeper. What did you say? Okay, a conversation. Good. And a conversation that can be, Sister Wanda, a conversation that can be just a few simple words. Your prayer does not have to be complicated. Jesus was walking on the water. Peter saw him. He said, "Can I come out? Walk on the water with you, Jesus?" Lord told him, "Come on out. The water's fine." And for a little while, Peter walked on the water. But he got distracted by stuff going on around him. The wind was blowing, the waves were rocking, and it took his mind, his focus, his eyes off of Jesus, and he began to sink. Do you remember what he said? "Lord, save me." What was that? Yeah. And how would you say it, Wanda? It was just a few simple words, okay? But it was the beginning of, Sister Woodall? It was the beginning of a conversation. A conversation that, a conversation that he was having with his God. I've heard some people say this: I don't know how to pray. ever heard somebody say that? I don't know how to pray. What do they mean by that?
They don't know what to say.
Okay, they don't know what to say. Okay, that the relationship is building, but probably more than anything, what do they think prayer is?
Prayer got to be very elaborate and have big words.
Big words, you gotta have, I don't know when to say thou and when to say thy and when to say ye, and I don't know the formula of prayer. I may not be correct in all of the interpretations. I don't really have a silver tongue like some people do. So I don't really know how to pray. Is that, oh yes ma'am.
Well, I think Rosemary and Lisa is prayer warrior.
Okay,
And so whenever I hear them, I always say, man,
like that.
that's a beautiful prayer.
Yeah. Watch this. First of all, because we look at it from two different perspectives. Now, here's the thing also. There is our private prayer, and then there is public or corporate prayer with the body. Okay, yeah, and look, and corporate prayer scares people because it's public speaking. And people, in the midst of their prayer, they're focusing on what? I'm focused on what you're going to think about what I just said, as opposed to being focused on the only one that matters. He's the one, he is the audience, and guess what everybody else is? Eavesdroppers. Just eavesdropping on a conversation that you're having with the master. However, corporate prayer has to be focused on what? If I'm doing a corporate prayer, if I'm up here praying, is it proper, I shouldn't say proper, yeah, personal prayer. So, Lord, all about me. That it's a corporate. That word corporate means body. Yes, and so it's a prayer for the body. And as a group, we went on a field trip. Corporate prayer means as a body, as a group of people, we all went on a field trip. Where? Okay, to see God where at? Well, we're in the church. Okay, y'all just came out of prayer meeting. Y'all just got back. Okay. Look, okay, somebody said it. Where? Somebody said in heaven. Okay, that's more specifically in heaven where? In his throne room. You have entrance. You have a ticket. You have access into his throne room. In his throne room, he is where? On the throne, sitting up high, looking down low. Okay? And he hears your prayers. It can be just a few simple words, or we can go as a group, and whoever is speaking for the group. What we're asking the Lord to do. What we want to, or maybe we just came into his presence just to say thank you for being our God. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for doing for us what we couldn't do for ourselves. Thank you for never leaving us and never forsaking us. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your grace and your mercy. Thank you for being our God. I don't want anything right now. I'm not asking for anything. You have provided everything that I need. I just want to come into your presence and say thank you. Or maybe there's some things going on, and you've been trying to handle it your own way, find that your way is not quite working out. And so we have a situation, and our situation isn't resolving because this is a corporate thing. So now we're going to take our situation to the Lord and let him do what? Work it out. Let him do what he does so well. And y'all, he may have just been waiting for us to ask him. There you go. You have not because you ask not. And then when you do ask, he said you ask amiss. Can you ask for anything in prayer? Okay. Does anything mean everything? Yeah. You can ask. You can ask for anything. Does that mean? Okay. So when I get home, okay. Look. I'm trying to think what I can say that's tasteful. I don't drink beer, so that would have been my thing. Okay, so would it be proper for me to go and ask the Lord, I need a drink? would it be proper for me to ask him, do that? Would he do that for me? Yeah. Okay. Well, look. So what does he want me to come through and ask for? What does he want me to ask for? And once again, not. And you know what the thing is? Yeah. Look, you can ask for, watch this, you can ask for anything that he has in his refrigerator. Okay. Now, what he doesn't have in his refrigerator, you don't have no business asking for. Okay. You have to go to the world to get that. He's not saying that's not available. You have to go to the world to get it. Now, if you go into the world, then you step outside of his will and you go and you do those things that are in the world and you come back. And when you do that, there is a consequence that comes along with whatever you decided to do. That's the price that you want to pay. But you can ask for anything in his will. And he says this, and he said it this way. You can ask for anything. What's the phrase the Bible uses? As long as you ask in Jesus' name. Okay? And so if we ask for those things that are in Jesus' name, if we ask in Jesus' name, then he said, I'll do that. Why? Because we are here to continue what Jesus is doing. We are in Jesus' shoes. We are standing in Jesus' shoes doing his work while we're waiting for him to come back. Okay? So he said, you can ask for anything in my name. Whatever you ask in my name, I'll do that. Yes, ma'am.
While you talking, brought the song to mind. You're not the temptation.
Okay.
Down you said ask. Ask the Savior to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Comfort, strength, then and keep you.
Yes.
He is willing to aid you. He will carry
You through. Yeah.
While you pray, first thing you ask for comfort, don't you?
Yeah. We want comfort.
That's the essence, pray too.
Right.
Because I know he's going to comfort me.
Yes.
He will comfort me if I ask him.
Right.
Even if I don't, he will. Because he know I need it.
He's that way. He's that kind of a God.
I know I need to come.
And in fact, it's good because even though we don't ask for things. Well, let me say this. How do I say this? Even though he already knows what we need, he still wants us to do what? Why is that? I mean, isn't that just kind of a waste of breath? If he already knows, why are we going through this exercise?
He's here for us.
Say it again.
He's here for us.
Okay.
He's going to provide whatever we are in need. He wants to hear from us. He wants us to be able to come to him. Even though we know that we probably do this, even though we know he's going to
he wants it to come from us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because it's an act of faith when we ask him. And it's impossible to please him. So he's
Yes.
happy. It's like a 2-for-1. He happy. Oh, you asked me. Then he give you what you need, what you asked for.
Right.
So
Right.
you're making him happy and you receiving.
Exactly. Exactly. He wants you to depend on him. How much does he want you, which is an act of faith? How much does he want you to depend on him? Completely, isn't it?
Nothing like that.
Are we there? And here's the question, then why? I mean, okay. Key, but that's the answer right there. We have to do what? We have to work toward it. Okay? And you're right. You are perfectly correct. And especially when you got to that last part there, is that we have a sinful nature. Our sinful nature makes us spiritually lazy. Okay? And the only way we are going to get to the relationship that he wants is we're going to have to work toward it. And y'all, the truth of the matter, and I ain't pointing no fingers at nobody, even including myself. Sometimes we just don't want to put in the work. Okay? When the trust time comes, I'd much rather try to fix it myself.
He got so much else going on.
Oh, we justify it, don't we?
Yeah, he got so much else going on. I can do this myself and
Yeah.
bug him with everything.
That's it. And guess what he wants us to do? Bug me with everything. I want you to depend on me. Ideally, what he would want is for us to develop such a, use the word again, relationship with him that's all we do. That I'm not going to take a step until he tells me, well, go ahead, move your foot. Okay, that he wants me to depend on him. Look, even if it comes down to, Lord, should I supersize these fries?
You know, Pastor, we were always taught to depend on yourself.
And we were taught that, weren't we? We were taught independence. Our parents taught us independence. Yeah. If you're a parent in here, remember celebrating with your child when they learned to pee-pee in the potty all by themselves? Yay! You a big boy. All right? Yeah. What we teaching them, I'm teaching you to do this by yourself. When you were in school, the teacher said, keep your eyes on your own paper. This is not a group project. You need to depend on yourself. But in the church, and especially with our relationship with God, look, our relationship with God is a relationship of total dependence. And our relationship in the church needs to be one of complete interdependence. We need each other. And when we don't have each other, we should feel a little bit lost. You know what? Like this. And everybody's had this happen before. You walk out of the house and forgot your watch. Okay. Now, your body can function just right. Just everything is able to function just properly. But don't you feel that missing? Or let me make it more modern. Cell phone. Yeah, make it more modern. You walk out of the house without your cell phone. Okay? And look, and with me, I'll spend the whole day and I'll keep doing this. Again, I keep reaching for it to touch it and it's not there. And then you have that sinking feeling. Well, that sinking feeling is how it should be when we miss each other. Why? Because of the relationship that we build. Now, believe it or not, I'm saying all this. This has been my long segue into back to this lesson. Because in 1 Kings chapter 8, Solomon is engaged in a corporate prayer situation. But I'm going to kind of move so I can move forward. But watch this. Once again, 1 Kings chapter 8. Meow. 1 Kings chapter 8. And then watch this now. And I want y'all to explain to me, something happens. In fact, somebody look at this for me. Look this verse up for me. 1 Chronicles chapter 27. And somebody read verse 1. 1 Chronicles. Chapter 27. Verse 1, yes.
And the children of Israel, according to their number, the heads of fathers' houses, the captains of thousands and hundreds of their officers, served the king in every matter of the military divisions. These divisions came in and went out month by month throughout.
Oh, I apologize. It should have been 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles. Chapter 1, verse 1. Yes, 2 Chronicles 1, verse 1. You did a very good job reading that. It still wasn't what I was looking for. Now I got to remember, I wrote maybe it's verse 7, 2 Chronicles. Second Chronicles.
11.
No, there it is. It's 2 Chronicles 7:1. Because 2 Chronicles 7:1 relates to exactly what we're talking about here again.
Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the house.
Okay, good. That's what I wanted to get to. Whew! That was a lot to get to that one. Okay, look. When Solomon finished doing what? Praying. When he finished praying, what happened? He prayed down fire. He prayed fire from heaven. Exactly. It was utilized for the sacrifice, but yeah, the power of this prayer was so great. Okay? Now, so look, I want to learn about that kind of prayer. There's something about that kind of prayer that I want. I want that. So now I want us to go back to where we were. Right, 1 Kings 8, and look at verse 20. Well, actually 22 right now. Verse 22. Somebody read that.
And Solomon stood before the altar of the Lord in the presence of all the congregation of Israel and spread forth his hand toward heaven.
Okay, good. Okay, so somebody tell me what we're looking at. Give me the visual of what we just said right there. What do we see happening? Okay, yeah, paint the picture. We just read it. Restate what we just said there. Tell me, what do we see? If you're looking, what do you see? Let's go. Say it again. Him doing what? Him standing. We see him standing in front of the altar. How is he? Hands lifted up. Okay. So, and this is how he begins his what? Prayer. What kind of prayer? Congregational or a corporate prayer. Okay? Is he praying just for himself? No, he's praying for all all Israel, all of the children of the living God, all of those who God has brought out of Egypt, and now they have wandered into this land. He's praying for them. All of David's children, all of those under his purview. And he's praying for them with outstretched hands. Okay, and once again, and how is he, Sister Iris? What's he doing? Standing. Okay, now do this. Take a look at verse 54, the end of his prayer.
Read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so it was, when Solomon had finished praying all this prayer and supplication to the Lord, that he arose from before the altar of the Lord, from kneeling on his knees with his hands spread up to heaven.
What happened?
Somewhere during his prayer, he did, he started kneeling.
His posture in prayer changed, didn't it? That he moved. So here's the thing. Is God hung up about our position in prayer? No. Well, they say, is he hung up about the position of our body in prayer? No. What is he hung up about? The position of our heart. What is the position of your heart when you're praying to the God that you serve? However, watch this. Sometimes, oftentimes, the position of your body reflects the position of your heart. Okay? Remember the kid in school who thought he was cool? How did he sit at the desk? Yeah. He was slumped down, the lower down he was. The guy driving his new car back in the 70s. And if you were cool, you can barely see their eyeballs as they're driving along the street. Okay, that their knuckles are up above their head as they're driving. The posture says something. Okay? Now, what if in prayer, if I'm praying and I'm praying at home, sitting up, my shoulder out of my chin, and I'm just saying, Lord, yeah, posture. The posture matters, doesn't it? Right. Look. What is the posture? What is the attitude that we should have when we're praying to God? Solemnity, submission. Oh, good. Submission is a good word, and it relates to humility. Okay. What do you think is the most humble position that you can take? Okay, on your knees?
I said laying on your face.
Y'all, laying down with your face in the dust. Y'all can't see me if I do it, so. But you know.
Okay, so, because I've been to one of the temples,
Uh-huh.
and when they pray, they the ground, but
They move.
really face down.
Uh-huh.
They got a certain position that they have.
They got several positions. They got a dance move to it.
But it's crazy how you said that.
Yeah, but the key is humility, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's submission. There you go. Right. When you get to that point, and submission also, and police work is a point of surrender. Now, surrender, officer. If I surrender, or deputy, if I surrender, what does that mean I've done? I give up. And I put it all away. I'm not trying anymore to do this my way. I yield to your authority. Prayer. Prayer. If we're praying right, somewhere in the midst of that time when he stood up, somewhere between A and Z, he ended up down on his knees. What is our attitude toward prayer? Before you answer that, let me tell you something about what I remember growing up. I remember when we had altar call, that we would come forward and everybody gets down on their knees. Yeah. Why don't we do it anymore?
The reason why we didn't, because we had, before you got here, we had an older congregation.
Right.
And they weren't able to do
Yeah, right. And understood. But we gone to some other churches.
I don't know what they're.
Yeah, right.
They do that down south, that's what I grew up.
Yeah,
The deacons, the they, at our church, they got the deacons on this side, and then they got the mothers on this side.
right.
And then they got the congregation, but when it comes to prayer or whatever, everybody's turned around like this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You
Yeah,
know, that's what we grew up on.
right. Yeah.
When we came here and started going to churches, and we was like, why ain't I kneeling? And then we got accustomed to doing what they were doing.
Can I tell you one reason why we don't do it?
Why?
Tuckman cleaners. I done paid $16 to get this crease in these pants.
And down south, they got them women come in there with them nice suits and hats and stuff, or whatever. The men come in there with them, they don't worry about no.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's right. I'm saying maybe that, because we're talking about humility, right? Okay. And so now here's the other side of it. Yeah, you're right. If you have older members who, if they go down, they staying down there. Okay. Y'all just give me when the doors of the church are open. Okay. Then understood that it's not but because what is this thing measured by? It's measured once again by the heart. Because you know what? I can't say I promise you. 9 out of 10 of those members have spent more time down on their knees over the course of the years than many of us have in the whole lifetime. Okay? And so now that they can't physically do that, their heart is still down prostate, okay? Flat out. Because it's all about where your heart is. Nothing else matters to God about except where is your heart. And he wants us to be in that position. So I just thought it was amazing, just that difference there, that somehow he ended down in greater humility in the midst of his prayer. And the prayer was about him. Now, we know that there was a special relationship that Solomon had with God, right? And as we go through and study this, there's some things I want you to do, because I'm going to jump in your head. I'm going to jump forward a couple of chapters. Solomon is going to disappoint God greatly. Yeah, I can't, probably verse 11. One of them starts out and talks about how much Solomon loved women.
Yeah, it's chapter 11.
Is that 11? Okay, good.
Solomon's heart turns from the Lord.
And its heart turns from the Lord. Okay. Now this, just because Solomon heart turned from the Lord because of woman, and just because Adam's heart don't mean nothing, okay? Because it ain't about the woman, it's about the disobedient men. Okay? Because people will try to make this correlation and the woman is all the cause of all the problems in the world. No, we got some disobedient men who God put in positions of leadership, and they didn't do what they supposed to do. Which Reverend Fuquay we've talked about, and that's why it's important that our men learn how to do what's right.
So him and Jacob pretty much did the same thing.
David, same thing. Yeah, David. No. Watch this. There was a huge difference between Solomon and David. What was the difference? We haven't gotten into everything with Solomon yet. What David? Because David messed up, y'all. David messed up. But his heart changed. David never turned away from his God. Never turned away from his God. He messed up. And then whenever he messed up and when he came to see it, when it came to the forefront of his head and he recognized what he did, that his heart hurt. But Solomon, we're going to find out, Solomon just went with the flow. He had 700 wives, 300 concubines, 1,000 women that were considered his wives. And y'all, didn't it say he loved? Can you read verse 1?
But King Solomon loved many foreign women, as well as the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonite, Edomite, Sodom. How you say that?
Yeah, all the mites. Look, to him they was all dynamite. All right. Yeah. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. And look, now here's the thing. God said that Israel was not to intermarry. Was not to intermarry with those who were non-believers. And he did over and over again. What is the problem? No, we're going to do another whole other, but I'm going to do that. What is the problem in intermarrying with non-believers? Unequally yoked. Which is going to make the marriage thing difficult, isn't it? Okay? But watch this. What's it going to do? And this is what it did with Solomon. When the one who you are, one of the 700, 900,000 that you are the closest to, have a relationship different than you, what starts to happen to you? Yeah, you start to drift a little bit, don't you? Okay? Happy life? Yeah. Okay. All right. And he begins to move away from where it is when they are unequally yoked. Y'all, that's why I know this ain't about the prayer part, and I got to get to it. We're going to get to it, and we're going to move to the next chapter before we leave. But that's why it's so hard to tell people that you need to find you someone who is rooted in the Lord. If you are a child of God, find you someone who is rooted in the Lord. But it's hard to tell somebody that when they in love. Uh-huh. Yeah. There you go. Very good. That's right. You need somebody, because even under the best of circumstances, marriage is difficult. But if you got two people and both of y'all are playing by different playbooks, you got different rules that you follow, then it's going to be impossible. Okay? Because you're trying to do what God said, and in his book, it says, I can do whatever. Okay? Now, he will she will likely know certain things about what's in your book. So I've had some men say to me, will you show her where it says she's supposed to submit to me? Okay? Okay? Yeah, because they don't know nothing else what is in the Bible except that one. Okay? And now, but then when you do that, what is the problem? What is the problem with that alone? Yeah, there's another part to that thing. There's another part to it. Yeah. That actually supersedes that is that, well, it says that, but in advance, you're supposed to love her. You're supposed to love her. No matter what happens, you love her. You love her just like Christ loved the church. And Christ loved the church so much that he was willing to die for it. And then she's got to feel that. She's got to feel that love. And when she feels that love, y'all, there's absolutely nothing that she won't do for you. That means that every day. every day, then the husband's responsibility is to make her feel chosen. Out of all of the women in all of the world, you're the one I chose. You're the one. And it must be an act. Not a fake act. That there must be some action to make her feel that way. Okay? And in response, she will love you. Because here's the other thing. He has to love her. The Bible never tells her that she has to love him. I done jumped to Ephesians. All right. Say it again. You're right. We say it when we stand here. But watch this. Here's the thing. This is the beauty part about all of it. Is that if that relationship between the husband and the wife is modeled after the relationship that God has with us. The Bible never tells you that you have to love God. In fact, what it says is that he creates the opportunity for you to love him back. He pours out his love to you. He pours out his love to you. Every day he loves you. He pours out his love to you. And there came a day in your life when you recognize that he loved you so much that you loved him back. We wrote a song about it. It said, "Oh, how I love Jesus, because..." There you go. I'm going to get into this lesson. Okay. Solomon had many wives. Watch this. In verse 56. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're back at 8. Yeah, I done bounced all over. Old Testament, New Testament. First King chapter 8, verse 56. Okay, watch this. "Blessed be the Lord that hath given rest unto his people Israel, given rest according to all that he promised." I want to stop there. "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Y'all, do y'all ever just get sick and tired? Doesn't it feel like every day, even in the Lord, it feels like every day is an uphill battle? But somehow, even despite the challenge, somehow there's still yet enough strength to just keep on keeping on. Not because we're so strong, but because he's so mighty. is the Lord that hath given us rest, but watch, according to all that he promised. Y'all, if God promised it to you, you can bank on it. You can bank on it. He will never, watch this. He goes on and says, there hath not failed one word of all his good promise, which he hath promised by the hand of Moses his servant. God has never failed me yet. I venture to say, he's never gonna fail me. He just won't do it. He won't do it. He will always be true to his word. That's why we can have complete faith in him. Because what is faith?
Trusting God at his word.
Taking God at his word. Trusting him in his word. Taking God at his word. Y'all, if God said it, I believe it. And that settles it. There's no more that needs to be discussed about it. Now, doesn't that make good sense? Yes. Do we believe it? Do you believe this? Do you believe that God will never leave you nor forsake you? Yes. Do you ever get worried? Yes. Do you believe that God will never leave you nor forsake you? Yes. Do you get worried?
Yes. I think it's anxiety.
What's wrong? What's wrong? Look, he's. Yeah. Oh, good. There you. Right. So is there a better way of saying that? Maybe we say we learning to believe that God will never leave us nor forsake us? It is. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Oh, yes, he will. And what's he doing? What's Satan doing? Okay, I mean, what's he doing to cast doubt? How is he doing that?
He whispers in our ears.
Yeah, he whispers, suggests things in your ears, doesn't he? He suggests things to you. And you know what? What he suggests meets what my flesh wants to hear. It says what my flesh already wants to hear. My flesh wants to tell me I don't have to like them. My flesh tells me, my flesh just doesn't want to do some things sometimes. My flesh will tell me to stay home on Wednesday evening. Oh, yeah. Now watch what happens. Watch what happens. So now you are in decision mode. Yes. Pastor gave me an invitation. Signed it personally. Am I going to go? And then Satan get busy. Well, let me tell you something. If you go this time, then he going to think he can tell you things all the time. So I wouldn't go this time. You go on your own term, not because he brought it up. Wait till next week. Okay? Or say it again. Yeah. Look, I've been. What he don't understand is that I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm gonna get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then come in and listen to him for a few moments. He don't know what's going on. I mean, once again, and I'm not saying, you know what? There are some legitimate reasons why people aren't here. There are some legitimate reasons why people are not or can't be here. I get that. I mean, I understand that. But Satan has a lot to do with us legitimizing some of the reasons why we don't. Okay? And many of them have to do with not wanting to put in the work. Okay? We got gyms all over the city of Indianapolis. And probably less than 1% of the city goes to them. One of the biggest moneymakers in United States commerce is exercise equipment. Yeah. Look, we got a treadmill at the house. We got a treadmill at the house. It has a great feature. When you push the power button, it clears all the clothes off of it. Okay? Great feature, great feature. And look, no, the thing is, because we don't want to put in the work. We'll spend the money. We'll do the upfront things. I'll buy it. I'll buy that. I'll buy that and a book that I'll read the first chapter of, and then it'll sit. But we really don't want to put in the work. So it's not just a church thing. It's a people thing. But we have to learn how to move throughout. So once again, but God has promised us. He has made a promise to us. And y'all, he's never fallen short of his promises. Never. Never. Now, sometimes, however, his promises are fulfilled in ways that we didn't expect. This wasn't the way. That's the problem that some of the Jewish people had with Jesus. If this is going to be the King of Kings, why is he being born in a manger? That's not the way our king is supposed to come. Why would he die on a cross? Rome's still in control. It wasn't the way that they thought. It wasn't the way that they expected. And now watch this. Even though there were components of it that were true to everything that was said, but they weren't learned enough, or they had an agenda that they were trying to promote. The scribes and the Pharisees could not see what all that was happening because they had an agenda. We are popular. The people should be looking up to us, and jealousy stepped in because everybody was flocking toward Jesus. Now, they were flocking toward John the Baptist, but they got him killed. They looked for opportunities to kill Jesus because he wasn't working the way that they thought that it should happen. We got to be careful, don't we? Yes, sir.
That was sort of God's plan anyway.
That was the plan. Yeah, it had to happen. It had to happen. And look, somebody had to betray. There had to be a Judas. Somebody has to do it. Okay, and somebody had to. There was so much. We don't have time to get into all that because that's what we did in the morning. But there's so many things that everything was totally and completely in God's plan. His plan never deviated. And his plan never changed. People were doing the things that they thought. They were acting the way that they wanted to act, but they were just doing what he knew was going to happen anyhow. And it had all been prophesied. Even down to the fact that, we said this morning, that they were gambling at his feet, casting lots on his garment. When Jesus was being crucified. Yeah, they were casting lots. When they say casting lots, they were taking bets on who was going to win through their game of chance. And that's what we were saying this morning, is that even in that situation, as severe and as serious as it was, there were still people playing games even at Jesus' feet. Okay? But that was prophesied in the Old Testament. They said it.
But you know, in the things that I do now, and what I see,
Yeah.
I can believe it more because I see it.
Yeah.
You know, I on the street, I ask people about, you've been to church, what church you go to.
Right.
Never been to church.
Right.
So they have and that's the reason why you have people breaking in churches,
Correct.
because they have no respect, because they have no idea.
No idea.
What it means.
No.
What it means.
Yeah, what it's.
But Sister Britt, that's what we said this morning, though, isn't it? That's exactly what we said this morning. They didn't even know. They didn't know the seriousness of what was happening above their heads. Because they didn't know. They didn't know. And so that's why Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they didn't have an idea. They didn't, and sometimes, and we have to be careful that we don't fall into that same trap. Sometimes the things of the world, y'all, with us, some things just get baked in. That we don't even think anything different of it because it's just part of the equation. We don't think anything differently. Our children run the risk of coming up in a world where certain things are just baked in. Yeah, oh yeah. Exactly. Well,
Now they was talking about today on the news.
Uh-huh.
They was talking about the Bible. And they was talking about how the Bible, they were talking against the Bible, how it's the number one seller in bookstores.
in the least,
They were saying a lot of things in it is true.
oh yeah,
Or it's not needed.
right. Well, it doesn't meet our needs.
Right.
Right. That's the phrase that I keep hearing is, well, it doesn't meet my needs anymore. Well, you don't know what. Yes, ma'am.
You know, that's where my daughter was sick
Mm-hmm.
back here in the hospital. Me and some of my other family were in the waiting room, and there was another family that came in there, and they were waiting. They had a loved one that was going through a lot of stuff. And one of the ladies said, the chaplain is getting ready to come up here to pray with us. And one of them, I'm assuming she was one of the mothers because she was an older woman.
Uh-huh.
Said, no, not right now. We don't need that.
Right.
I was so out.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said that.
Yeah.
My granddaughter was with me, and she grabbed my arm, and I'm like, what? And she said, don't say nothing, don't say nothing. Leave that alone, because she's going to probably say something smart back to you, and I'd have been getting smart with her right back. But that,
Yeah.
I said, Ray, should I go over there and explain that to them? She said that we don't need that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Pray right
Yeah.
there and be like, God, they
Oh,
need
man,
that.
I was
Yeah.
so outdone when she
Yeah.
said that.
What? And it bothers us because we know.
Yeah.
It bothers us because we know.
My granddaughter, I said, she has no idea.
No. And that's.
There's a whole lot of things now, like, we worship, some of them worship the marijuana, weed, stuff that's.
Right.
Because it's baked in, so, and I be telling them now, I'm so tired of smelling marijuana.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Right.
every time, but it's baked in, they think that this is the thing to do.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it.
Right. Well, watch this. And this is what I'm talking about. Our kids. Fornication is baked in.
Yes.
Fornication is just an extension of dating.
Yes.
Okay? It is the cherry on top of a good date. It has no meaning whatsoever. And watch this. And because of that, it's just sex.
Yes.
It's just sex. But God didn't institute that relationship for just sex. It was decided that it was to be for making love, which is an exchange of love that you are the focus of my attention and I am the focus of your attention. It's not about just me. But if you love me, you will just become something that's baked in.
Right.
And the resistance comes down over the course of time.
Yes.
And then we end up with other things on top of that. But remember this, having said that, and I'm looking at most of us in this are of an age that when we were kids and you would hear that somebody got pregnant.
It was shame.
It was like, oh no. And the phrase, well, how did that happen? Right. That just kind of kicks in. But now I've heard of people trying, kids, trying to get pregnant. Okay? It's baked in. It's not, they don't even, it doesn't feel wrong anymore. Watch this. And it seems right. Now, there's scripture I'm going to, who know where I'm going? There is a way,
the way it seems right to man.
but the ends thereof are the ways of death.